Paula. Nice to meet you today.
You too.
My name is Paige. I'm going to be your social worker. So first, I'm going to go through the confidentiality stuff. So basically, it's just the things we say here stays here. If you tell me something that is like something that makes me think that you might be suicidal or something that serious, then I have to tell someone. Or if I feel like you're going to threaten yourself or somebody else. But other than that, it's going to stay between us. So can you tell me a little bit about what's been going on lately, or just what's been up?
So really what brings me in is my sister wanted me to be here. If I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what coming here to Turning Point is going to do for me or how it's going to help me. But I guess what really triggered it all is a couple weeks ago I was diagnosed with MS. So I've kind of been in this weird rut with after learning about my diagnosis. And I live with my sister, and she thought it was a good idea to come talk to someone about it. So yeah.
Okay. And also, just so you know, I have to take some notes, but it's not, you could totally see the notes if you wanted to. It's just something we kind of have to do.
Yeah.
So can you tell me if you have any concerns with me or my agency, or anything that's a red flag? I know you said you didn't want to be here, really, but
not personally with you right off the bat. Nothing like that. It's just in general. I've never gone to see a therapist or a social worker or anything like that, so I don't really know what it's about. So I'm kind of hesitant to do this and open up to someone who doesn't know me. I don't really know what it'll do for me or if it'll work at all, but I'm honestly just doing this to please my sister.
Gotcha. Well, I hope that with our work together we can accomplish a lot of things in your life for you. Do you have any requests or any expectations or anything that you need me to do for you, or anything that you really need to get done?
One thing that I think I really need help with right now would be finding a job. I actually have been unemployed for about 5 months now, so I'm on disability, or I get unemployment checks. But of course, each month I have to prove that I'm job searching in order to get those checks, and it's just getting more difficult because there's just so many dead ends. So finding a job, and then with my MS diagnosis, now that's weighing on me too. Am I going to be able to work if this progresses? What am I going to be able to do type thing. So that's kind of stressing me out.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. So with jobs, what kind of jobs have you had in the past?
I worked at a factory. That's the only job I've had when I graduated high school. I worked there up until 5 months ago. I got laid off, and that's why I'm getting unemployment checks. But that was the only job I'd ever had. I really liked that job. They had good benefits and everything, but obviously without that job now, I don't have those benefits. So it's a whole other reason why I want a job. I need the insurance and stuff.
Right. So at the factory, was it a lot of moving around or lifting, or what was that like?
Yeah. It wasn't super intensive work, but it was moderate. But nothing that I feel I couldn't do now, but I worry that in the progress of my MS, I might not be able to do later. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So thinking about jobs, does any specific job come to mind that you're wow, I really want to do that? Is it the same factory thing again, or would it be something more laid back, desk job?
I think after working, so I worked at the factory for about 2 years because I'm 20 now.
Okay.
I started a little bit before I graduated from high school, so it was about 2 years. So that's really all I know. But recently I have thought about branching out and doing something different. So if it was an office job or something, that would be nice too. Just something that is good enough pay to get out of my sister's house.
Right. Yeah. All right. So right now, what I'm hearing is that you live with your sister, and you're ready to get out of that house. You just got diagnosed with MS. How long ago did you get diagnosed with that?
It was about 3 weeks to a month ago.
Okay. And maybe we're looking towards like an office job.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be okay, but just because
Even on like my harder days.
right, you would just be
stuff.
sitting and doing
Yeah.
more relaxed things. Yeah. Yeah, I can help you find a job for sure. So with the MS, have you experienced any like serious symptoms yet? Or
What first made me like wonder what was going wrong was like I
Right.
was dropping things.
okay, yeah.
Kind of like losing like dexterity in my hands and stuff. So I went to the doctor, did the MRI and everything like that, and they diagnosed me with MS. It's kind of really unpredictable.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks because I don't really know what to expect. There's no like timelines or anything. So that kind of is that's all I really know.
Right.
My current living situation right now is rough because I live with my sister and it's a 2-bedroom house with her 2 kids, and I like there's only a pull-out couch and stuff, so like it worries me that like because I've done my research and I know that like people with MS a lot of times need like wheelchairs like when it progresses, like I'm not going to be able to live there forever, so like definitely need help like bettering my living situation too.
Okay. Can you tell me more about some of the symptoms you've been experiencing? I know you said dropping things.
Like confusion,
Yeah.
like cognitive issues, like everything's kind of foggy.
So you've been to the doctor. Have they given you any medicine yet? Or how's that been going so far?
Yeah.
Any treatments at all?
No, not yet.
No, not yet? Okay.
No.
I know that sometimes it can take a little bit longer for things like that to get medication and stuff, so I was just wondering. Do you know when your next doctor's appointment is? When you would get medicine and stuff?
Yeah, I'm going next month.
Okay. What is something that you love to do on your free time that kind of like can de-stress you if you're like having a rough day?
Well, I do have a best friend, Chris, who
Okay.
I met at through my factory job right
Okay.
after graduation.
Is he still employed there?
Yes, he did not get laid off. And so spending time with him is like one of my favorite things to do. He really understands me, and we're just best friends, so.
Yeah. So I know that something for MS that can be really helpful is like working out or exercising.
Yeah.
Have you ever like enjoyed doing that, or do you think you could get into it? Or
Yeah. I mean, I've never been like super athletic, but I've never been.
me either.
Yeah, but I've never been really lazy either. So like I'm down to try different things. Like I love riding bikes and stuff, so I could always look into that.
I wonder if Chris would be willing to do that with you.
Yeah.
And your sister has the 2 kids. Are you in charge of them a lot, or how is that?
They're both in elementary school, and my sister's actually going through a divorce right now with her ex who was abusive to her and the kids. So it's kind of rough. So she's working right now. So there's a lot of times where like I'm responsible for the kids. So I think that's a lot of the reason why she's okay with me staying at her place is like if there's never like a babysitting issue because I'm always there to watch them, which kind of sucks, but
Right. Yeah. Can you walk me through like a day in the life of Paula? Like what do you go through every day?
yeah. So without MS, so like when the symptoms aren't really like prevalent in a day, I wake up. A lot of times I help get my niece and nephew ready for school, get them on the bus, and basically just hang out at home all day. I try to like do housework. I get online sometimes using my sister's laptop to try to find work or jobs in my area that might be useful. Another thing with that though is I had to sell my car to help pay for medical stuff right now, so it's got to be in the area. So I job search as much as I can, do as much as I can there, get my niece and nephew off the bus, help them, like make them snacks or whatever, help them do homework until my sister gets home, and then my sister gets home, and basically just
Dinner and then
bedtime and stuff. And then like on special days, like sometimes on the weekends, like Chris will come over, pick me up, and we'll go like get lunch or something. But yeah.
Do you have a relationship with your parents at all?
My mom died when I was 5.
Okay.
In a car accident, and my dad actually is in prison for meth. So
Okay.
yeah, he had a 5-year sentence, and this is his last year, so he should be getting out.
Does that make you excited or anxious?
It makes me probably more anxious than excited, just because my dad's never really been like a stable person. He never really like provided me with anything, so I don't know. I feel like he's done more bad than good in my life, but I go and visit him every month.
Okay.
I try
do you guys have a good relationship then, or decent anyway
it's
for
decent,
now?
yeah. I wouldn't say we're close or anything, but he is my dad, and I try to keep a relationship up with him as much as I can.
All right. Do your nieces and nephews have a relationship with him at all?
With their grandpa,
Yeah.
my dad?
Mm-hmm.
No. I go and visit him every month, but my sister I don't think has been in a few months, and
Okay.
I don't think
Gotcha.
the kids have either.
Yeah. Have you done anything, or do you do anything now, to like cope with your stress, or to cope with the MS, or like the idea that you have it, or anything like that?
I smoke weed
Okay.
sometimes, with Chris mainly, and then I have trouble sleeping at night for sure. That's been an issue.
Has it always been an issue?
No, just recently in the past year, it's really become an issue. I cannot get to sleep at a good time at all. So I drink at night. I have probably like 3 to 4 beers a night to try to go to sleep. And I found myself like depending on that more and more, which, yeah. But I don't really see it as an issue much.
Okay. So it's not really something that you think that needs to like come to a stop?
Yeah, no, I don't see an issue with it.
Okay. Gotcha. I mean, a few beers I feel like isn't that big of a deal. Have you talked to anybody about this diagnosis? Am I the first one that knows? Who knows? What do they say?
So my sister is the only other person who knows about it.
Okay.
I haven't told Chris yet, and I also have a boyfriend,
Okay.
Dylan, who we've been dating for about 6 months now, and I haven't told him, just in fear of, I think he'll leave me because of the diagnosis. But yeah, you and my sister now would be the only people that know.
Okay. Do you have plans to tell Dylan in the future, or Chris?
I mean, I'm gonna have to eventually. Like, I know that, but I'm just scared of what their reactions will be. Not so much Chris, because we've been friends. We're so close, and we understand each other really well. So I don't really think he would abandon me or anything. But I feel like I know that Dylan is gonna have an issue with it, even if he doesn't say so.
What makes you think that?
I don't know. I don't know if we're as stable as it takes to date
Right.
through this diagnosis. So, yeah, I just don't know if we'll make it through.
Have you had any connections with anybody else who struggles with MS?
No, my doctor actually did talk about maybe like meeting with someone who getting a group, like with a group, like.
There's many support groups,
Yeah.
so if you're interested, we can definitely hook that up.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And I've heard that that would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard that they can be very helpful.
Yeah, because honestly, before my diagnosis, I didn't know anything about MS, and honestly, I still don't know all that much about it.
Right.
So I'm like learning through this.
Yeah,
too,
learning as you go.
Mhm.
So if, say your MS went away all of a sudden, what would be the biggest like change in your life? Or do you think, what would be the biggest change in your life?
What do you mean?
Like, is there anything day to day that like, is there anything that your MS is stopping you from doing day to day? Or not? Or has it not gotten that bad yet?
I don't think it's gotten that bad yet. But what I do fear is like when my MS gets like on the bad days in the coming months or years, like when I'm gonna be like if I'm gonna be in a wheelchair, like am I gonna be able to drive or do things on my own like that, like travel by myself? So like that really stresses me out. So like it would be really nice to hear how like other people
Right.
do that.
Have you ever, or are you now like a religious person, or have you ever thought about becoming more religious or anything?
I've never really been religious at all. Honestly, I never grew up in a religious household or anything like that. Still don't. But I think I'm open to the idea of exploring religion.
Yeah.
I'm not closed off to it really, but
Okay.
it's never played a role in my life, no.
Has anyone else in your family struggled with MS or any type of similar diseases or anything?
Not that I know of. I know that my mom had some sort of like nerve disorder, but she passed away when I was 5.
Right.
But I don't know much about it. I haven't heard much about her.
Okay.
Honestly, so, but no, not anyone close to me now that I know of.
Can you describe to me the biggest, like, most recent conflict in your life, whether it be MS or the job thing or living with your sister? Like, what is like the biggest stressor for you right now, or if it's just all of it?
It's mainly all of it, but if I had to choose one, I think it would be the job thing, because I feel like the job thing could fix most other things, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if I had a good job with insurance and had some source of income, therefore it would lead me to stress less about paying for my medical bills, and I could maybe move out of my sister's place. So
Right.
I think that's definitely number one for me right now.
Since you don't have a car, do you have access to like public transportation, or how are you getting places?
Right now I just like get rides from my sister whenever she can, and whenever she's not working. I've never used like public transportation like the bus or anything. So I'd have to figure out how that works, but
Yeah. It can be kind of confusing, but we can work through that if that's something you're interested in.
yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about like what the dropping things looks like, or the symptoms? So like the confusion, the fogginess, like a little more details of that, please.
Yeah. So you know how like when you take, I don't know if you've ever taken like cough medicine and it makes you feel like loopy. I would kind of feel like that, and I would just feel like kind of like in a daze throughout the day, and that really wasn't what was confusing me or like concerning me. I just thought maybe, I don't know, I had a headache or something, and then it was like weakness in my hands, and kind of like a tingly feeling in my legs, on and off, and it was just strange. So I just thought definitely should go to the doctor about it. They did, and then
Right.
they said it was MS.
Yeah. And how did that make you feel? Like, did that all of a sudden just completely make you feel down 100%, or what was that like?
Recently I've been feeling like depressed, just down about it.
Even since before, or?
No,
Okay.
not really. I've never really had any, I would say I've never really suffered really from mental illness, like predominantly before my diagnosis, but afterwards I've definitely experienced more like depressive episodes than I had ever before, and I think that's just because of like all the not knowing, and like I'm unsure of what's gonna happen and stuff like that.
Okay, so basically my role here, things that I can help you with are trying to find a job, one that can help you pay medical bills, maybe help you look for apartments to get out of the house, maybe look for a car if that's what you're interested in. We can also like think of ideas, like self-care ideas, like something that you just love to do. Like if you love painting your nails, maybe doing that a few times a week, or riding your bike with Chris, or things like that. Just things that can maybe get your mind off things a little bit. Also, we can kind of pro-con ideas to tell Chris and tell Dylan, because I think that's going to help you become, I think it's going to become more real, and then it's going to help you like be able to talk about it and be able to tell your feelings about it more, the more people that you tell. So that'll be a good thing for you, I think. And then for you, I think the main goal is just going to be to keep coming to me, because I can help you. And I know that in your mind you were kind of bummed, you didn't really want to come, your sister kind of tried to talk you into it. But I'm really glad that you came today. And if you keep coming and keep trying, then we will make some pretty good progress. In your mind, if you could just give me like an estimate, how many meetings would you like to have with me so that we can really get things put together? If you could just kind of think about it.
I don't know. Do you think like twice a month maybe would be
Yeah.
good?
Yeah. Twice a month. And then hopefully maybe you won't need me at all anymore once we get everything put in place.
Yeah.
So for now, the most important thing for me would probably be the job. That's what you said too?
Yeah.
So how about for our next meeting, you go online. Do you know like the website Indeed or LinkedIn and all those things?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go and look on those, you can find me 3 jobs that you're interested in, and just bring the name of the job and maybe like the website name or whatever to me for next week, and then we can look at that. We can talk about it, talk about the pros and cons of it, and just like go from there. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're good for the day. Are you good? Do you have anything else? Anything else you want to tell me?
No.
All right. Nice meeting you.
You too.